I try to keep my feet dry with Gore-Tex boots, but it never really worked too well, so instead I wear my regular breathable trail runners with neoprene socks, which work kind of like a wetsuit. You can let your feet get wet, but they stay warm. You also don't have to worry about hopping over streams or anything like that. Just let them get wet and it's not a problem. It also keeps debris like small rocks and pebbles off your feet too. For more warmth or comfort, you can even wear your merino wool socks underneath the neoprene booties. To keep my head dry, I use the Sunday Afternoons Ultra Adventure Storm hat. It's a nice wide brim hat that not only keeps the water out of my eyes, but also off of the back of my neck. And the brim is reinforced to keep its shape when it gets windy out. It folds down small and stays in my pack in case I need it. And it's also great when you just want some shade on your head too. I'll put a link to this and everything I talk about, including any updates, on my latest gear page. Just search for Hiking Guy Best Hiking Gear. I've tried a lot of rain shells over the last few years, and I gotta say the Enlightened Equipment Visp is just in a league above the others. It's a little bit pricey, it doesn't have pockets, but it just works great. It's super comfortable, it's breathable, it's under 6 ounces, so it's super light, and this just stays in my pack along with my rain pants all the time in case I get stuck out not only in the rain, but overnight. You just have to make sure that every year you replenish the waterproofing, and when you do that, make sure you follow the instructions, because if you don't, it doesn't really work right. Now, another solid performer that's a little bit heavier than the Visp, but also a little bit less expensive, is the Black Diamond Stormline Stretch Rain Shell. This one was really comfortable, relatively lightweight, it kept me dry, and it had some more conveniences than the Visp, like pockets, and I also liked the cinch on the back. It was easier to use than the cinch on the Visp. Overall, this is a really good jacket, and I've used this for a couple years now, and it's done me good. I also use the REI Co-op TrailMade rain pants. They're pretty simple, they keep the rain out. There's an elastic band, so I just pull this over my existing pants or shorts. There's a back pocket, and if I need to get in the front pocket of my pants, the elastic waistband on this makes it pretty easy. And when it's really pouring out, I have a Frog Togs rain suit. It's definitely cheaper than the other ones, but it's not breathable at all. But if I know I'm going to be in the rain all day, it's going to be miserable, I'll just wear these before I even go out. The classic version is a little heavier than the ultralight, but it's a little bit more durable. I use the classic, but if I was taking a backpacking trip and I needed to save some weight, I'd probably go with the ultralight. Now, if it's not too windy and it's just sort of rain, having a hiking umbrella can be a nice way to stay dry. You can either hold it or clip it onto a backpack strap. I've used the Z-Pax one for quite a while. That's worked great. I think it was made for shade, but it works great for rain as well. This year I tried a new design from 6 Moons called the Rainwalker. It was specifically built for rain. It's supposed to be tougher in the wind. I found both this and the Z-Packs to be really good, but when it gets really windy, it's just sort of unwieldy to hold them. But I like the handle on the 6 Moons design better. It's more of something you can grip. So if you like to hold it, the 6 Moons design is the way to go. Otherwise, either one is a solid bet. Now, to keep my gear dry, I try to use packs that have a very water-resistant material like Ultra Fabric. It's not technically waterproof, but if the seams are taped up, it's sort of effectively waterproof. I've never had luck with pack covers. The water gets in or pools on top of it somehow. It just never worked so well. So instead what I do is I'll use a pack liner. I use this one from Osprey, but you can also just use a trash bag or a contractor bag. Just something on the inside to keep everything dry helps out a lot. When you're navigating in the rain, having a touchscreen like on a phone can be problematic. The touchscreens can freak out when they get wet, although the newer phones definitely work better in the rain than the older phones did. But ideally, you have a handheld GPS that works with buttons like this GPS Map 67. The buttons provide tactile feedback. Same thing with a watch. The watch works with buttons. This is a Garmin Epix Pro 51mm. Buttons help in the rain, especially when your hands are wet and cold. Hitting a button is a lot easier than messing around with a touchscreen. And for your paper map, what I do is I fold it up and I put it into one of these Ziploc bags, and it protects it, keeps it dry. I actually do this when it's dry out too, just to protect the map a little bit. If you have any gear you want me to check out or have any tips for hiking in the rain, leave me a comment under the video. I will check it out. I'm always looking to improve my setup, so thank you for that. Any questions, leave them there as well. And if you would be so kind, if you're gonna buy any of this, please use my links on my gear page. That helps support this channel. None of this was given to me for free. I bought all of this to test it so that you don't have to waste your money. So thank you for doing that. Stay safe, and I'll see you out on the trails.